could work. That's better. That's kind of better. All right. Hi. Hi, ladies and gentlemen. This is Dustin Beebon on the live cast of his Dustin Beebon's channel. Or something like that. I don't know. I'm trying to create some kind of mentality over here. But I'm sitting, I sat down. It's been a while since I actually sat down and did a a podcast off of Facebook and YouTube and all the other kind of crap between Google. And I went through a lot of stuff today. Basically, the topic is how to be positive about things. And today is somewhat of a good day for me, in a way, and all that. These last couple days have been a little bit bad, to say the least. My car broke down on me, so that's been a very bad thing for me and all that to go through that because I can't be mobile anymore. So I have to find the courage to being a little bit more patient about waiting for the right moment for the right people to come around and all that. But needless to say, that's not the whole point. There was a lot of things I wanted to do yesterday, and I couldn't do it because of the car. And, you know, certain things have came up in a way and all that. So my whole personality right now is me trying to reflect on some things that I need to be positive on. And one of them is try to be positive about a lot of different other kinds of things, like brushing your teeth every day, or, you know, getting good news and things like that, or remembering to do your laundry, or call that certain someone to say hello and how you've been doing for a long period of time because you haven't never ever picked up the phone in a long ass time. But you know, it is what it is. But I think there should be a certain point of time where people should actually realize and things like that, you know. And me personally, I'm trying to deal with. I don't really deal with change in a certain way easy for me. It's not easy for me to kind of like work around with that. But you know, I can put two and two together and work on it. It's not always going to be the easiest thing to work on. Yeah, I wish I had more friends on Facebook. This would be a lot more easier. You know, just instead of sitting here and all that kind of stuff and then not getting anyone to respond or hear this thing, you know. I think a couple people can hear me, but nothing can show the least to it. You know, a lot of people have other things to do. Who gives a who about this white guy all the way at Ranch Cucamonga talking about God knows what, you know, like, for example, let's see. I should have went inside and grabbed myself a Mountain Dew because I know my mouth is going to get dry real quick after I start talking in the next 45 minutes. Let's see. I guess in some ways that as trying to figure out all that. Friends now. Share now. Yeah, I do want to share now with friends in a way, and it's constantly easy for me to constantly talk in a certain fashion, but God, the hell happened there? Alright, we're gonna close that out. Something feeding back through all this. Better. Oh, the audio is running out of TV. I see. Okay. That's better. Much better. Uh, well, anyway, trying to be on the positive side, so I wanted to attend this show all the way in, God forbid I forget and all that. There's a fat kid on a, I think that was Keegan. Oh, fucking Keegan. Huh. Well, I wanted to attend this show, and this was couple weeks ago. It was going to be coming up yesterday and all that, and I was planning on driving over there to go see it, basically, spectate and all that. And well, first let's talk about the car, why it's not working. What happened was I was coming back from David's house all the way in Upland, and I was coming down on Baseline, driving down on Baseline, and then all of a sudden the engine stops once I pass Euclid. And God forbid I freaked the frick out because, like, oh God, oh no, cars, something. It's not the first time this has happened, and it's not. Yeah, well, this is now the biggest first time this has happened. I'm gonna find out that completely the engine shut off on its own. I'm not thinking that it seized and all that. It's not. It didn't seize. It just stopped. So I pretty much about 2.5 miles away from my house. I called David up, told him, hey man, the car's not working. So can you rush over here and give me a hand? So go over there and all that. The thing won't start. Come to find out, 3 days later from point time, I think from Friday or Thursday. Let's get to Thursday, basically. 3 days later, we bought a brand new alternator for it. It still didn't work. Brought a new distributor, still didn't work. And then come to find out, when I opened up the top of the engine and all that kind of stuff to take a look at it, the timing belt fucking melted, so it broke. And wonder in my eyes and all that, I'm far intelligent as a kid and all that kind of stuff, but when it comes to chemically aligning anything else with anything that is over my head, I am not good at. So let's just say the least of the moment right there and there. I worked on this car for over 2 days, for the past 2 days. Nothing worked. So I called it quits. I gave up. I thought about it and all that kind of stuff. And I talked to my dad. He knows some guys and all that. They'll take a look at it when they come through and all that. And my mentality was me trying to say, I want it done fucking now. And I don't give a fuck how it gets done. Just get it fucking done. And then it just kind of like constantly bothering me, feeds on something else. It kept on feeding and feeding. And it became a total torture for me personally. It was a torture. So I kind of like, fucking, okay, fine, all right, life is life for the moment. And I just kind of gave up on that periodically on that time, and all that. I'm going to play a lot of background music so it keeps me busy. Maybe you guys have heard of this. This will be a conversation that's going to be coming up soon. So back to the car thing. So at that point, I like, fuck. I didn't know what to do at this point. So it's kind of like, oh god damn. All right, fine. So, I gave up on it. Someone's going to take a look at it eventually. And they're going, once they take a look at it, hopefully it works. But in the meantime, it's just, have to get comfortable, pull out the old Schecter and start playing that. Grab the Taylor, start writing some stuff. Been thinking about writing stuff for the last couple of months and couple of days. I just didn't really have the didn't really have the confidence or the motivation to work on it. I've been working on some older material, like older songs from older bands and all that kind of stuff, like taking them out of the library and kind of like reorganizing, changing a few things here and there and all that to make it sound a little bit more lifelike, you know, because a lot of the music I'm listening to nowadays, it seems more, there's more feeling to it, and most of the stuff I worked on and all that, still previous in these days and all that, may not be with them or anything like that, but I own part of it because I had a lot of ideas into it and all that. I was just the guy behind the scenes, not the one that was trying to explain everything to everyone. But needless to say, you know, I kind of have something to do with some of the stuff, you know, because I was a little bit of the drive, not a lot of the drive, but a little bit. And I think most people should understand that when you're into some kind of business that you want to make it sound fun, basically, it's kind of hard to kind of like coexist with that, because it's really hard to deal with those kind of things, you know. But that's fine, you know. Not a lot of people can keep up with that kind of stuff, you know. And it's not an easy business for everyone else, you know. Yeah, you replaced a guy that played with you for a long period of time, you know, and he's been there for you ever since you did everything that you could and all that, went through different places, did different things, did things like that, and this person's been with you for the longest time, always kind of gave you some motivation, been sitting on your side for a very long time. And it feels like when you have people like that really want to take the time to actually kind of like keep yourself engaged and all that, but you put all this men hours, all this time, all this effort, everything else and all that, you're not getting paid shit for it, nothing and all that. You have ideas, you bring them up, you think about things and all that, and when you try to bring your voice up to anything, it just kind of feels like everyone shuts you down. Like you don't exist because you don't have the proper funds. You're not making the business. You're not making the bank. You're not making anything into it and all that kind of stuff because you don't have any money and all that. That you feel, at a point you feel fucking useless. And let's be honest here. You know, like some things should not be considered to be negative, but I'm glad I didn't go to that show because at the end of the day, you know, I'm hurting myself by doing that. I'm hurting myself by, you know, toying with myself because it was somewhat of my baby that I helped build. You know, I may not been the person that wrote all these songs and all that or did all the work or anything like that. You know, I gave it some life. And then I have to have some guy that has 14 years of experience to just bust my fucking chops. For what? Because I'm not good enough? Because I'm a whiz kid at a lot of computers and all that? Listen, you know, God didn't put people on this earth for just to sit here and climb up the ladder. No, God put people on here to fucking get shit done. To have fucking drive, have some fire in that spark. You know, that's what people do in this world. Not a lot of people can get around those kind of shitty ass things. You know? But it hurts. It hurts when people just like doing that to other people, you know, like, oh, you're not good enough, so we'll just replace you either way because you fucked up on a fucking show. You know, it's sad to say and all that, but the thing that pisses me off the most is, yeah, I didn't make that one show that day because I had to work for a living. I had to make money to pay stuff and all that. And all the times I had jobs and I busted my ass and all that, I made plans to be available for those days. And then when I made myself available, I got shot down. Something came up. Nothing went the right way. And everyone was just busy because they have kids, they have wives, they have lives and stuff like that. Here, little old me, my ass, busting my ass, trying to pay rent, trying to pay car insurance, trying to pay a phone bill, trying to make time to pick up my goddamn bass and my guitar or my drum kit, and make the time to sit down and play these instruments, because these are the things that I like doing the most. They're the things that make me unwind every fucking day. It's not easy being a busy man busting your ass from 9 to 5 every fucking day. It's not easy. And I think people take that in somewhat of a consideration, and they take advantage of that. Just because you can't take direction from anyone else. Yeah, you have somewhat of a college degree, but it still considers yourself a dropout, right? Those things are what people have to respect the most. If you're going to get somewhere in this world and all that, you're going to have people in your corner. It can't just be by yourself. Because when it's by yourself, you're taking all this mountain, you're taking all this hill, you're taking everything. You have Mount Everest sitting on the back of you. And you have no room to breathe. But say the least, I'm glad I didn't go to that show. Because, I feel bad for MRS. I feel bad for LBC. I feel bad for everyone that has ever worked with anyone in that social environment. I feel the past 3-4 years of my life have gone down the drain and went to the shits. I feel that for me to justify myself in any sort of action or shape or form in any way, God is not the center of attention. Who the fuck cares of what God thinks? Who the fuck cares about anyone else out there? When you have people and friends and all that stuff and you say, oh, God's got something coming your way. What kind of BS is that? I'm not talking down about him or anything like that. I'm just saying, take God out of the equation. He doesn't need to be in that room with everyone. Yes, he's there. But take him out of the equation and put him somewhere else. Somewhere where it's better, more isolated, and more secured and more safer. Sanctuary would be a more preferred place to put him at. So, getting back at that, trying to be positive about it is not trying to be negative about it. Me, I'm always a negative person. I've always been negative about everything. I've always been a dick about everything. I've always been an asshole about everything. And I work with this guy that I thought I was friends with. I worked and all that with him. I took the time out of my busy schedule to hang out with this guy. I did everything in my manpower to help him to get to where he's at, And for the fact that I had to get let down slowly but surely in the way that some people in this music industry could say that seems a little shitty at times, because that's not what you do with friends. And I don't give a care if this is a business. It's not a business. It's a fucking hobby. And that's what it's fucking drawn down to. You put many nickels and dimes into something that's a fucking hobby. It's not going anywhere. It's not going to explode anywhere. It's not going anywhere. You could say, oh, well, I got shows. I got things like that. Well, yeah, but that's great. You could do shows till you're fucking blue in the face. I should know. I did. I had the attitude on stage presence. I had the attitude of, like, letting everything go. Go with the flow. Not get scared. Not get pissed off. Just let everything go with the flow. It is what it is. And that's how it is. Coming back at that as a human being and as an adult that put on big boy pants and really did the footwork on certain things, I can now say that for me as a human being, it has changed me for the better. For that, if anyone else likes to put any of that kind of dirt on the radio or any kind of thing on a YouTube video, yes, I made YouTube videos. Big deal. Yay. I talked 4 to 2 hours on a video because I was angry. Yeah, I talked to the guy. You know, whoop-de-doo. You know, we both reach common ground on certain things. You know, we both touch on a common basis on stuff. And I'm not talking about a bass player. I'm talking about bases. Bases, as in the bottom line of everything. But I think that some things like that should come into a different part of the territory. And this thing is fucking up. Okay, I gotta fix this shit. There you go, you fucking cock. Apparently this thing likes to wander off on a few occasions. But, you know, I'm saying that most people, like, who really give people a chance and all that, should give some people a second chance. You know, you could put a name, you can label yourself as a name and all that, but if it comes down to the draw of the situation, the band is not your band. It was never your band. It was a common ground name. That's the basis. That's the line of the name. It's a name that formulates a group of gentlemen, guys, to work together that have the passion on working in music. Not one person, but several people in the room. And I feel that I worked hard, and no matter how many people said it sucked, how many people said it was shitty, the people I was closest to said this stuff sucked. The vocalist sucked. The guitar sucked. The drum player sucked. You know, I could have done better. But I was desperate at the time to work with someone. I wanted to work. I wanted to achieve something. I wanted to have my fucking thrills on this. And I worked hard for it. So, when it comes down to it, who do you trust the most? Who is really in your corner? Who will actually take the moment to call you, ask you, how you been, man? It's been a while. I haven't talked to you since such and such day. You know? No one does that. No one wants to hear the crap I fucking say. No one wants to take the time to listen to it. And you know what the shittiest part about this? This all started when I had a new job lined up for me. And I needed to take some time. And everyone was already completely ready to go. Everyone was ready to fucking get in the studio, do their shit, fucking get it done and all that. And I wasn't ready. I was ready, but I wasn't ready emotionally and physically. Because I was preparing myself for this new job that I needed to do. I needed to work. I needed to work to buy gear, to pay rent, to pay phone, to pay car, to get to all these gigs, to get all these good gear and all this other stuff. But when you look back at it, the people that judge you the most and continue to fucking poke you with a stick keep on justifying, well, you're not buying enough bass. When are you going to buy a second bass? Or when are you going to buy better gear and stuff like that? Well, fuck you. And the reason why I say that, why haven't you got some guitars? Why haven't you got a better amp? Why haven't you got any better stage presence or better quality? Or anything like that? So what does it give you the right to tell me what I haven't done? Because from where I'm looking at it, from the glass half full, at this point, I have done everything in my manpower just to make you look fucking good. I have done everything to make you look successful, the person you are, and the places you have been at, the people you have met, and the things you have done. The reason why I was angry on that day of April and all that, when he went out and did a show in Las Vegas, I was angry. Not because of the fact I got replaced, it's because of the fact that he went out to a show just prior from the moment when he got word that his wife had a miscarriage. That's what fucking pissed me the fuck off. That's what really pissed me off. The fucking... Words can't even describe how I felt about that. I felt disgusted. I felt like this motherfucker's the biggest fucking scumbag ever to walk on the face of the earth. His wife is fucking hurting, and yet he's at a fucking show in Las Vegas? Fuck you. Yeah, I'm glad you went off on Facebook too, asshole. That's fucked up. It's so fucked up. Why do people do that? You know? I mean, we could sit here and talk about the cows when they come home. We could sit here and analyze everything. You know? But at the end of the day, it is what it is, you know? Business is business. People are people. But enough is said about that. And me being negative about it. Let's be on the positive side. Yes, I'm glad Yes, I'm not happy that everything went the way it was supposed to. I'm not happy that it had to go the route that it had to go. I was angry. I was frustrated. And I was mad as hell. I had no justification of controlling myself of any emotional or satisfaction of anything that came in my way. And yet, at the end of the day, you know, most people will jump on somewhat of this occasion to get through other people's point of view just to make ends meet. You know. But I'm on the positive side. I'm trying to be positive. I'm trying to get some practice down. I'm trying to get kind of good, you know. Practicing is not chops. Chops is when you have a group of people on stage and you're actually getting warmed up on stage, knowing your stage presence, knowing the connection between the crowd and stuff like that. That's chops. That's trying to get somewhat of yourself in order. Knowing the songs, playing the songs, remembering the songs, how they are played and all that. You know, I feel that when I wrote when I did the bass parts for these songs, I really took the time to actually sit down and actually break them down, you know, to make them sound good. Because who wants to hear all day, you know. It you know, I gave somewhat of that a life, you know, because with a bass player it's about keeping the rhythm section going. You know, I'm not any bass player in any chive or any situation, all that. I'm more of a guitar player and a drummer at heart. That's me personally at my level. And I think that some things should be more approached on stuff, because at the end of the day, you know, people could be angry as much as they want to, you know. And matter of fact, I'm on Facebook, so like if you guys have any comments, questions, or anything like that, feel free to drop it on the chat on here, all that. And then if on where this thing is being broadcasted, if anyone's really listening to it, there's a chat system. Write something down, I'll see it right in front of me. There you go. You know, and I can take calls. I have a connection on this mix board that runs off of an interface off of another computer that I can actually sit down and actually have a one-on-one conversation with people. Not right now. My phone is in the room and I'm in the garage. But, you know, I feel sorry and sad and angry about these things because I feel real bad about the way things escalated. I feel really bad of how you know someone for so long and you had a chance of reaching the gun-ho, reaching the plateau of success and somewhat of being heard and being out there and being listened to and all that. But let's face it, you know, like I said, I feel like the past 4 years have been total disappointment. You know, I have been to different places, met different people, talked to different people. And at the end of the day, it comes down to it, you know, that once you reach a certain part of your life, in a certain peak of it, the people you understand and the people you known for the longest time, I find that certain channels that people can connect or relate and all that, especially my dad with his certain channels and all that, because he talks to a lot of different other people in and out of places and people and things and stuff like that. I feel that things like that should not be, are really bad, especially if you're gonna hang out with someone and you know them for you know them part of your life, and then all of a sudden he moves out of a different city, and that close connection to that person is lost. That friendship cannot be rebuilt. It could be built, but it won't be built the same way that it was built on concrete. You know, no one invites me to anything because everyone assumes I'm busy. I have a phone. I have a Facebook. I have a Twitch. I have a Twitter. I have Instagram. I have Snapchat. I have all these things. Look me up. Find me. Talk to me. Say something. Anything. Because then in the end of the day, I'm just marching my ass into the bricks from here. But I think that I should leave it the way it is now, because, let's face it, we're not going anywhere. And I have officially changed my page name to DBMRS. And the reason why I did that is because I want to put out a bold statement. And I'm going to be working on some stuff. Stuff that a lot of people are not going to like because I'm going to have a lot of pissed off people contacting me and stuff like that. But I don't care. Did you really think that Bob Dylan gave a shit when the media got on his ass about what he did and all that? No. He fucking did what he wanted to. Same thing with Jimi Hendrix. Same thing with Led Zeppelin. Same thing with everyone else there that wants to go with it. If you want to make it big and all that, being an independent label is not the way to go. Think about it. I know a guy that I knew that I saw in 2006, all that, and that was the last time I saw this guy. The first time and the last. And then personally meeting him from face to face, knowing I don't know anything about his band anymore, knowing that, oh my god, it was a speck of my reality and all that. All of a sudden this guy just shows up, appears in some ludicated place in the world, and what's have he done? Oh, I want to make Christian music. I want to get into Christian stuff. I feel like I should have more of a preaching point of view in St. Paul's God and certain things and all that. Cool. Where's the music? Well, there is no music. It's a song. It's songs that are wrapped up in a nice red bow, given to a child. At this point, it has taken 10 years for a gold record to appear from an album that started in 2004 from 2006. So, God, I feel somewhat more positive about things now than I used to be. So, I'm gonna let this go down in the way that I expected to go down. So if I get a call, that's cool. You know, I'll talk to the person. May feel a little shy at heart for a moment, but I'll be okay. I'm already going through too much in my life to deal with pains and headaches and stuff like that. And yeah, I think a lot of people are going to say, oh, well, he has nothing nice to say about anything, you know. No, I do. I have something nice to say. I say that the EP was good. I said that I think that it's good for a homeless guy to listen to it at this point. You know, because that's the best action I can think of right at this time. You know. And what encourages me the most, that keeps me driving, that keeps me moving, and keeps me going every morning to wake up day after day, night after night. I could stay in bed all day. I really don't. I can give two hoots of a care at this point. The thing that inspires me to get up every day is the thing that makes me disappointed every day. I feel more and more happy every day when I see someone fail at all costs. Not including to be succeeding, but fail. But I'm getting the numbers right now, and I only got 4 minutes at this part before this thing ends. So I'm going to make this short and simple in the next 4 minutes. I am going through what is called a thought process crisis. And when I mean a thought process crisis, is I'm over elaborating myself, overthinking things, basically. Like, a certain part of my gear is starting to shut down. A part of me is going, bye-bye. Sayonara. See you later. So, I'm going to just sit down in my room, think about the next plot that I'm going to come up with for tomorrow, and write a script. My biggest thing that I really want to achieve in is doing video editing. I want to make music videos. I want to make movies. I want to do stuff like that. I want to make soundtracks for things. I want to help artists find somewhat of their voice. I want to do mainly everything. You know, I did that for a while. I really never really give it a thought, or I really never really give it a chance to think about those kind of things. But I'm going to put myself out there on the lighted stage and tell everyone, look, you need help? I'm here. I have all the time in the world to do it. Give me something, I'll work on it, and I'll give it back to you. And see what it sounds like. Alright, 2 minutes now, alright. There's a lot of people on Facebook. Robbie, Joe, Matt. Now Landon went off in a minute. Sean, Kevin. Huh, there's a lot of people. Huh. Oh, wow, okay. Oh, yeah. You know, the mysterious thing that really triggers me is it's the first time I actually seen Patty Bebon come up an hour ago. Who the hell has access to her Facebook? That's crazy. I never knew that. Makes me kind of scared at one point, because I'm kind of like chilling in my skin. Who has access to that Facebook? I have no idea. I want to say it's Zach, but how am I really sure? Huh. But anyway. Alright, I'm going to cut this short, so I'm going to cut it short and sweet and simple. Right at this point. So, what I'm going to do tonight and tomorrow is I'm going to work on myself, person to person, and try to do something that keeps me busy, because that's the only thing I can do right now that will make me feel more positive about myself, is to keep myself busy, keep myself doing something. Look at stuff, do this, do that, you know. And I'll get there. I'll work on it. But in the meantime, this is Dustin Bebon on his podcast TV show, live on the power of the internet, in some ways. And stay frosty. Have a good one.